by Screenside, and I'm back with another speed build today. Today we are building a cluttered little cottage in Windenburg. Now this is on one of the little tiny lots in Windenburg, so it's a pretty petite house, and it's a 3 bedroom though. I did squeeze 3 bedrooms into this little tiny house, but I think overall it like turns out like a really kind of charming, cute little. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with this little cluttered cottage. I like this. Now, I didn't build it so much with family in mind. Like, it's not meant to be like a family house. I actually kind of thought of it as being more like where maybe like some young adult roommates live together. I think the reason why is because I'm not quite sure which plot it is, but it's the one that has the free spirits living in it in Windenburg. And so that's I think where I got in my head that it was like young adult roommates instead of like a little family house. I mean, it could easily be changed around to accommodate like a small family. But that's not really how I built it. I don't know. I didn't go into this one with a plan or anything. I just started building, and this little sort of cottagey house came out. I actually think even though it's a cottage, it's not terribly old fashioned. Like it kind of looks a little bit like a contemporary house, honestly, I think when it's all done. But still a cluttered one with, maybe like some, cool kind of decorations or like sort of different, maybe a little bit bohemian, just a little bit because there are like little planters everywhere. That's like primarily the clutter. And, the Sims have, because it's such a small space, there's like a lot of kind of like space saving uh spots. I don't know. You'll see when we get in the interior. Um, I had such a problem when I was building because these windows that you're seeing now on the side with the little shutters, I could cry because they don't come in just a straight brown. Well, I think they come in straight brown, but they don't come in white or black or gray. It's like either that white with the blue shutters or white with the brown shutter. I why no white swatch? Why? I really love those windows and I hardly ever get the opportunity to use them. And I really tried to find a texture for the exterior that I liked and that matched those windows because I like the look of them so much. But I just couldn't find one. It didn't happen, so I wound up changing it, and ultimately I'm more happy the way it turned out in the end. But that seriously was a gripe for me when I was trying to build this. I just it really drives me crazy when there's not just an all black or all gray or just neutral swatches. Anyway, rant over. Yeah, so I there are just these little stone porches on it, and you'll see that we're gonna kind of clutter up the porch area and in front and below it. So anyway, sorry if you guys hear any squeaking noises. My ceiling fan is squeaky now, apparently. It's starting to get like a little bit warm out, and so I've been running the ceiling fan, but it's oddly squeaky, and I don't like it. I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but and this isn't just now. Well, okay, first of all, just thinking about ceiling fans, I really wish that we had ceiling fans in The Sims. I hope that we get one someday. Maybe like if we ever get like an island paradise type expansion or pack. But anyway, am I the only one who ever gets this like weird fear that my ceiling fan, like that one of the blades is just gonna come flying off and bonk me in the head? Like this isn't just because my ceiling fan is squeaking. This is a genuine fear of ceiling fans that I've always had. Like I really like ceiling fans, don't get me wrong, but I just always have this fear in the back of my head that it's just gonna come like just flying out of the ceiling. Am I the only one? Am I? It's cool. You guys can tell me if I'm if I'm crazy on this one. Probably. Anyway. So just now I'm adding a little bit of, climbing ivy to the front of the house. That's one of my favorite things to do to houses. It just, in my opinion, like just gives a lot of dimension to the front of a house. Sometimes it can be hard to give the house a level of realism, in my opinion, without adding other things to it, to the exterior. I don't, just, these types of items that come in the category with the, like, the wall, oh shoot, what am I, the flower boxes, that kind of stuff, all the wall decor. I really think that adds a lot to a house. Like that and landscaping are really important. And, I think in terms of like making a house look really realistic, I guess. But this one, I use this thing. I think it came from Get Together as sort of like, instead of just using the regular flower box items that I use, and I think I still use some flower boxes on the exterior here, but just kind of a different option. I think it kind of looks like they could open up that attic window and water those plants. If you like a sense of realism, like I think it looks like it could. Of course, it's really only all one floor in the actual build itself, so there, your Sims couldn't actually get up there. But it kind of looks like somebody could go up and water the plants out of that window. So I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. Little cute kind of little garden out front, stuck some garden pots and a gnome. Again, just kind of like going for that, cluttered and quirky kind of look. I don't know. That's just kind of what I've been into lately with. I've done quite a bit of builds lately that'll be coming out here within the next couple of weeks, and just I've been really into kind of making them cluttered and quirky lately, and also young adult roommates instead of family houses. I have another house that I'll have coming up probably this coming week, and not like this week, but next week, probably next Saturday. Um, but it is like a great big party house for young adults, and I've been playing in my own personal gameplay a game of like four female young adult Sims living together, and it's been a long time since I've played like a non-family game, and I'm really enjoying it. I never have done like a current household cut type video, but I've been enjoying the current household I've been playing so much that I've been considering it, just because I'm like, I don't know, I'm really having fun with it. It's kind of like my own version of the Immortal Sisters challenge that I've been playing. I don't know, maybe I'll have to like do a current household or something. I'm not sure. Guys, let me know if you'd like to see that. I like seeing other people's current household videos, so maybe, I don't know. And oh, by the way, also, I there might be like a couple of like jerky spots in the video. I tried to take care of them as best as I could, but I use the recording software Fraps, and for some reason, Fraps has this option to split your videos every 4 GB, which, if you're filming build video at like a high frame rate, then that's really like a couple of minutes of building. So this video, without my realizing it, the whole time I was recording it, was splitting up into like I don't know how many different files. So I had to go through and add like all the files together, and I did that with a couple of builds before realizing I had accidentally flipped that setting on. So that was a good time. And that's why I've been a little bit lagged behind on my speed builds than I normally would be, because it's taking 3 times the amount of time as normal. I fixed it now, but I I had a couple of builds that I did without realizing that I had that setting on. So that was fun. Yeah. So moving into the interior now, it's 3 beds and 1 bathroom. Normally, I will do more bathrooms than just one, just because I when you're juggling multiple Sims and their bladder needs all fail, especially when you load when you load a lot, and all like it happens to be in the middle of the night and all your Sims have to go to the bathroom. Actually, I don't run into that as much as I used to, but I think that's just because I don't rotate households as much as I used to. I used to have like a big save where I rotated between families all the time. But yeah, that doesn't happen so much if you're not rotating around. But if you are, then you know the pain of like loading a lot in the middle of the night and all the Sims are standing out in front of the house with like no bladder need, which is always a good time. So I usually will have more than one bathroom in a house, but there just really wasn't the space for it. And looking back on it, I'm not entirely sure why I did the layout, like the shape of the bathroom the way I did. I know I had a reason. I just can't remember what it was now. Uh, I used the move objects sheet to really detail the bathroom though. I added like a box of tissues on the back of the toilet and, put in a couple of things of soap around and on the sink and a little bit of soap in the floor there next to some potted plants and the laundry basket. So again, just really trying to make the house look as lived in as possible. And this room, I think I maybe went through every bed and every wall color, so I had to kind of trim it down a little bit because I ultimately settled on this just sort of really plain single bed with that Southwest print, but like bright colored rug from the movie Hangout Stuff Pack, and then just used some different clutter items to, add a lot of clutter to the dresser in this room. But it's ultimately really simple. Honestly, all of the bedrooms wind up being pretty simple. I didn't want to necessarily make it really specific to any type of sim. So, I mean, it might be a little bit on the feminine side because of the colors, but I don't think it necessarily has to be a female sim or a certain age of sim. I feel like that room could fit a teenager or a young adult or even a child if you just wanted to add in, like, maybe one of the giant stuffed animals instead of the rug, or just add some other toys in. So if you do want to use this house for a family, then it can work. You can make it work. um, the kitchen here, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep. Yeah, I did it in a gray. I don't, and the reason why is I hardly ever use the cabinets, the black cabinets with the white countertop, and I just wanted to do something different than what I normally do. I don't actually can't think of a build that I've posted that I've used those countertops. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of do something different than what I normally do, like a little bit of a different color palette for the kitchen, and so I did the black and gray and with hints of orange and yellow. So, the bowl of fruit. I kind of made it look like the kitchen area was tiled off here, and then this stool from the bowling stuff pack I thought went really well with, it just kind of like matched the color palette I was going for. And then I use the big painting of like eggs and pancakes or eggs and bacon from from the dine out stuff pack. Squeezed an easel in there so that while I had a little bit of extra space, and try to make sure that there's room for skill items so that obviously your sims have some stuff to do while they're on their home lot. It was a tiny, again, it's like a really tiny lot, so it was squeezed getting very many skill items in. But yeah, got a couple in there. It's all good. They've got some stuff to do. I was bound and determined to get this little step ladder with plants on it from the backyard stuff pack in this house somewhere. I think I even wound up moving the bathroom door just to make space where that would fit, because it just looked perfect for this house in my opinion. The living room is a little bit more, well, I mean, they all the rooms are kind of on the neutral side with colorful decorations. I think all the bedrooms have white walls, but have, brightly colored like either rugs or wall art or you know different items. I don't talking is hard. I promise. Um, anyway, This house would also be really good for a sim who gardens. So I squeezed in an easel, but we haven't quite gotten to the backyard part yet, but there are a lot of, gardening pots and things all around the build. And, so there it kind of could be an explanation for all these potted plants, um, that the sim is really into gardening. My grandma, who you may have seen the build that I did of her house, because that's like by far my most popular video. And it's really funny because when I built it, I honestly didn't think that anybody would be interested in watching it. But anyway, that same grandma, she was so into gardening. That's pretty much all she did. Like when she got done with work, she spent her entire evening in the garden, and she had potted plants all over the house. So anytime she would go away and, my mom would have to go over and water the plants, that was like a half a day job. At least. She had so many potted plants all around the house. But I mean, that would include like the outdoor things, like the outdoor garden. She had flower beds everywhere, and she was super into gardening. So this would be like a kind of house that she could probably appreciate. Um, by the way, that little corner with the computer, I have play tested it, and it does work. And it actually, I was really surprised. I thought that their legs would kind of clip into the stuff that's underneath the table, but the sim that I play tested with, her little toesies just slid right underneath the little shoe rack that's under there. Now, if it's a sim like a sim with big feet or big clunky boots, they probably would clip. But her little toesies just slid right under there. I was really happy about it. I think I've got a screenshot of it too, so I'll be including that at the end so that you can see. But yeah, I mean, it really looked like she was sitting there with her feet slid beneath the shoe rack. If it were me though, I would just probably just rest my feet on it like that was like a footrest or something. I need to get an ottoman for under my desk so I can just kick back and, hey guys, it's by Screenside. Oh, that's a good idea. Put that one on the to-do list. Anyway, yeah, I'll fall asleep in the middle of commentating. Hey guys, it's by Screen. No, never mind. Oh, do over. Anyway, if you guys can tell, I'm a bit of a crazy mood tonight. I don't know what's going on. The last bedroom, that was like, a very, very simple bedroom. Just a little bit of, again, like bright wall art, but a really simple bed and mirror and just the basics. Not a sim that would spend very much time in the room. I mean, none of these rooms are very fancy or very large, obviously, so because of the, again, tiny lot. But this is more, I guess, I picture being the master bedroom of the house because it's the largest. I put in one of the bonsai things. I think Sims seem to really like that object, and I like it too. It's really nice to give them a focused moodlet for gardening. And because I imagined a gardening sim lived there, I figured that that would be a good item for them to have around, you know. Lighting up the exterior a bit and just working on the back porch area, the front porch area. This lot has a lot of really pretty stuff around it. It's a really pleasant lot. There's that like sort of waterfall that Windenburg, like the little tiny waterfall over by the pub area, and so it's like sort of the worst word in the world to say, rural part of Windenburg. If you've watched any of my older videos, you know that that word is like the bane of my existence. I have the most horrible time pronouncing it, but the rural side of Windenburg, that's so hard to say. Slipped in, I thought that was a perfect little spot for an outdoor trash can. And again, more potted plants. Got to have lots of those. And we're gonna put a few gardening pots and some more landscaping here on the exterior. And then we'll be pretty much into the screenshots at that point. But yeah, I really had like a nice time building this house. It was just kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of a relaxing thing. I really didn't have any particular thing in mind. It's just kind of what came out, and I was imagining what kind of Sims would live in the house. Usually, I do wind up moving those garden plants out from the house, garden pot planters, whatever they're called. I wind up moving them out from the house a little bit because I kind of sometimes stick them right up against the wall, but the thing is they have 4 slots for plants, and I was like, oh yeah, let's make sure that they can get to them from both sides, because I like the way those look up against walls really well, but it does kind of cut their usefulness in half by doing that, and because I wanted the Sims to be able to do actual gardening, I did move those out from the house for that reason. Even though I kind of like look of the planters a little bit more like right up against the house, and then a couple of the little jeweled planters that we got with the, I think that was that the Easter egg challenge last year. I want to say it was like one of the rewards that came with that the Easter egg challenge. Maybe I'm not sure. I really don't remember. We've had so many of those things. Oh, speaking of which, are you guys enjoying the Plant Sims challenge? I was able to complete it in my current household, and I did have one of my Sims turn into a plant sim for a few. I didn't like it that much though. Um, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I just kept forgetting like how to manage her needs. I'd never really had any plant sim experience before, and so I kept almost killing my sim, and I'm not used to that. Usually, I'm really good at caring for my sims, but I would have her outside, and then I would turn around and look, and she would be like absolutely like I think I really almost killed my sim. She was so close to dying of thirst at one point. Her water needs were so low. But anyway, we are getting ready to come up on the screenshots. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.